So it's been a little over a year since Samsung released the Galaxy Note 9. For many, this was the phone of the year, and for good reason. You know, taking a look at this phone, after a year of phone releases, I begin to appreciate this phone a good amount more than I already did, and here's why. Now, I know it's only been a year, so not incredibly long or anything, but with pretty much every other phone moving towards bezel-less displays with pop-up cameras or some sort of cutout, the Note 9 is still a beautiful phone without either of those things. It's got an 83% screen-to-body ratio, which is still pretty good, but as you can see, those extra millimeters on the bezels do make a noticeable difference. Big deal? Absolutely not. This phone is still a looker in my opinion, especially when you take into consideration things like its materials, that chamfered edge, and the curved glass. As we all know, Samsung phones have held this sort of reputation for not lasting as long as some feel they should. Whether it be a battery issue, maybe the phone starts lagging like crazy, things like that. But as we've seen, Samsung phones have gotten better and better over the years with things like that. This Note 9 has been used very heavily and it still performs quite well. Stutters and hiccups happen every once in a while, but it's nothing crazy, so that's good. And battery life has taken a bit of a hit as well, but that's supposed to happen over time. Bottom line, the phone is totally usable, and I had no worries about that going into this revisit. After all, it has only been a year. I know plenty of people that are still using their Note 9s and even Note 8s for that matter. They're still happy with them as well. Just wanted to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Dbrand. They make awesome skins for your tech, and I personally enjoy using them to give my tech a different, refreshing look, texture, and to even protect my devices from things like scratches. Dbrand's been supporting the channel for a long time, so go ahead and check them out using the very first link in the description. So, the Note 9 still performs well to this day. Great. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about in this revisit was getting a Note 9 now. Like, if you were in the market for a phone, would the Note 9 still be a viable option? Well, it absolutely would be. Not just because it still performs well, but because, well, as Samsung phones usually do, this one has dropped significantly in price, and you can find a brand new one on Amazon for around 600 bucks. You can find new ones on eBay for even less, and if you go secondhand, you can find them on Swappo for like $400 or less. Remember, this is a Note, so of course you're getting a large, powerful, premium, feature-packed device with an S Pen. Also remember, coming from the Note 8, this was a nice upgrade with a bigger battery, better fingerprint reader location, and more. It's also one of the few large Samsung phones that has the power button in a nice, easy to reach spot on the right-hand side. But anyway, taking a look at the spec sheet and feature set, we see that, well, it's pretty loaded with things like wireless charging, water resistance, expandable storage, stereo speakers, 128 gigabytes of storage in its base model, and a headphone jack. It rivals and in some ways beats some of this year's best options. Even the cameras held up well. It obviously won't beat any of 2019's high-tier flagships, but these cameras provide a nice all-around user experience, and you will get some very, very solid results. So newer phones that go for $500 have proven to be great options this year. However, they come with a decent amount of compromises, whereas with the Note 9, if you can snag a new one, you'll have yourself a phone for a price that I guess we consider to be budget nowadays, which will stomp out pretty much all of the other phones in this price tier. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any compromises, because of course there are. Now, the biggest one would probably be long-term support from Samsung. This is something that Samsung is notorious for, of course, and with a year-old phone, it's definitely something to be aware of. Luckily, the Note 9 is a lock for Android 10 and the next iteration of OneUI, so that's great. Looking forward to that. Next year's big Android release is a possibility as well for sure, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that, which of course is the problem. Either way, the Note 9 a year later is still a fantastic device. If you have one now and it's still treating you well, there really isn't a huge reason to upgrade to anything that's come out this year, and I'm sure some of you have come to that conclusion a while ago. Now, if you're in the market for a phone and you're not looking to drop $1,000 on one, but you still want a large phone with one of the best displays out there, loads of features, an amazing stylus, good cameras, and more, then the Note 9 is a great way to go. What do you guys think of the Note 9 1 year later? Let us know by dropping your comments down below. Let's talk about it. Anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to hit that like button. Subscribe to the Android Police channel if you are new. I will talk to you guys later, and thank you so much for watching.